Gather round for the Oke Farm Pondcast with Doug Davis.
All right, Joe, we are live, my man.
Okay.
So to set the stage a little bit, a couple things. Number one, we met the other night when you were so graciously brought some arrowheads to display in our clubhouse, and I want to talk about that. But so that was the first time you and I have ever met. You just got here a few minutes ago, and in the spirit of the way that we do these podcasts, we have no idea what we're going to talk about.
That's what I asked him.
We have no idea what we're fixing to talk about, which is, I think, makes it so much fun. So your name is Jobe, and you're from the greater Folkston area. Why don't we spend just a few minutes talking? Just give me a little brief background on yourself.
Well, I was raised on a farm.
Okay.
My father was Jobe Hannan, the man that plowed the mule.
Okay.
He plowed everybody's garden around, and when he quit, I started plowing the mule a little bit. And I've been plowing the mule all my life. When I started plowing the mule when I was 6 years old, before I started school. And when he just quit, I was on the tractor. So I left home and went to New York, stayed 5 years up there. And I called my dad. I just called every weekend. I called back. He told me he was having problems in the tobacco field. He couldn't get no help in the tobacco. Now it's on my mind. Now I come home. I take a vacation. I come home to help it. Never went back. I stayed with my dad, and we worked together.
Was that in Charlton County?
Charlton County.
Okay.
Yeah, right here.
What year roughly would that have been?
Probably 70.
Okay.
I left home in 66, I think.
Okay.
I came back in 71.
When you left to go to New York, like what were you thinking? Like what
What it was when I left, I never been nowhere.
Okay.
No further than Jacksonville.
Wow.
That was it. Jacksonville, that was like a cutoff line.
Big city for you.
Big city. And I said, well, if I'm gonna get anywhere, I got to leave Folkston.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about my dad then, he had plenty of help and everything. So I had two sisters in New York and a brother. So I left, went up north, went up there. I stayed with my sister till I got on my feet and got out on my own. And I got homesick after he told me he couldn't get no help because it was on my mind about what he was doing. And I came on back home. I never left again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I left a daughter up there, but we stayed in touch. And the mom, we stayed in touch. We still stay in touch.
Okay.
And her mom and I didn't break up. I brought her down here to see would she like it because I knew I wasn't going to stay up there. She didn't like it down here, and I was ready to leave from up there.
She was a city girl.
City girl.
Come on. I mean, what was so speaking of that, what would Folkston and Charlton County have been like in the 70s or you left in the 60s in that time period?
Folkston really backed up. They went back in time. We had grocery stores. We had maybe 4 grocery stores. We had 3 or 4 clothing stores. We had a theater, 2 or 3 banks, and just bukus of motels up and down the strip.
Yeah.
And we had lights from the intersection down there all the way to the Florida line. It was lights all the way. And then they jumped the line and went all the way to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Just lights. And when they put 95 in, when they finished 95, it just dried up.
Just overnight.
Just overnight, it just dried up. Now only thing could come there is a chicken joint, a candy store.
Wow. You're the first person who I've met in this area who has ever actually lived through that transition. I share it with people often because I've read about it in the books, but I've actually never heard a firsthand account of someone who experienced just how booming that corridor was, because all of the traffic that was headed to Florida or back north all came up US 1 for the most part, right?
US 1 and 301.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And 17, but both strips was unanimous with traffic.
Wow.
Yeah. If you stop to a stop sign trying to cross, it will take you 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get a break to cross the street.
What was it like for you, having grown up seeing pre-95, going to New York City, coming back post-95 when everything was dried up? Like, how did you internalize that? Like, what did that make you feel like?
Well, I was lost. When I came back the first time, I was lost.
Right.
Little as Folkston were, and the little time I left, I got off the bus. To the bus stop. And I was going to surprise my mom because I didn't tell them I was coming.
Oh.
I was going to walk to the house, and then I was going to get her to go back and get my luggage.
Okay.
So I took off walking. I knew where I was going, but they had put some projects in on the street.
Okay.
When I got to the project, I said, this is not right. I turned around and went all the way back to the bus station. Tried it again. I wound up in the same. I went back and I called my sister to come pick me up. And then when she picked me up, she went right past the projects, right on down. I said, well, doggone, I was home to start with. And then I thought, trying to get around. You'll be surprised. Just a little time and something into a change, how it turns your mind.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think forever you would forget your way home from a bus station.
Yeah.
No, it don't work like that.
So you came home in the 70s. 95 was open. Folks,
no, it wasn't open then.
Oh, I thought it opened in the early 70s.
They were working on it in spots.
Okay, got it.
They were working on it in spots. They finished through here maybe 70, maybe 73.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
73, 74.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
All right.
They finished. And
so you were back from New York.
I was back
at that point.
At that point.
Okay, and so you came back to the hustle and the bustle of big Folkston, which was de minimis compared to New York, but still, you didn't even recognize that it had grown so much.
Yeah.
But then I want to hear about. Take me through what it would have been like to have come back. You're in Folkston at its heyday, and then all of the sudden, all the traffic that was utilizing the motels and the restaurants and the grocery stores, like that disappears overnight. What was that like?
It was almost a nightmare.
Huh.
Yeah, because we always had what we need in Folkston. Now, you get ready for a wash machine, stove, anything, you got to go out of town to get it because everything
moved out
and closed doors.
Gotcha.
And most of us were just used to doing business in town because most of the people in town, everybody knew you. You didn't have to have the money to go get nothing.
Right.
They knew you and they trust you, and you get what you want and you pay it like you want to.
So you almost have like a cab kind of.
Right, but then when you moved out of town to the industries and the big companies, they wanted cash money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it just almost turned Folkston into a ghost town, really, because everybody started leaving.
Yeah.
A lot of people started leaving. And right now, I don't know, Folkston is almost like a retirement town.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't advise no young person to try to make a living in a life in Folkston.
Right.
Because there's nothing there. All the jobs left. We had plenty of jobs in Folkston. It was jobs, sawmills, and it was different things.
Different time.
Yeah.
So
Leaves.
now. Oh, I didn't know the plant was here as well.
No, it wasn't a plant. It was
They moved to Brunswick, didn't they?
The plant was in Brunswick, but they had the men that worked in the woods to gather the stumps. They was
like the turpentine stumps and stuff like that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had one in Folkston, one in Lake City. Then they had one in Homerville. And they were just in districts around, all the way down Florida. But what they did, they gathered the stumps and they put them on boxcars on the train. They shipped them into Brunswick.
Gotcha. Okay. So that would have been roughly 50 years ago.
No, I worked there.
Yeah. And that was going to be my question. So for the last 50 years, I mean, you look like the picture of health. I know you have a little bit of stuff, booming voice of yours. I mean, you've done something. Yeah. Did you leave Brunswick again to go to work, or how?
No, I worked in Folkston to the harvest in the fields.
Okay, so you farming basically. So
I was a foreman, but you still had to work with the men. You know, they had different crews. They had 9 crews here, and every crew had what they call a crew leader.
Okay.
And I was a crew leader.
Okay.
And I was responsible for the guys that worked in the air with me.
Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so you've never left Folkston since. I mean, you're a staple here. And I know, do you have a lot of family here now?
Oh my God, family. Ooh, we got one of the biggest families in Charlton County.
I didn't know that.
On the black side.
What's the last name? What's the last name of it?
Okay, you got they tie.
Okay, let's hear it. Bring it on.
It's the Hannans.
Okay.
The Hannan. Okay, and then you got the Neelys. Then you got the you got the Hannan, the Neelys, the Miltons.
Okay.
All us tied together. The Gibbs.
So you're kin to a lot of folks.
A lot of folks. I almost had to leave Folkston to find a wife.
I love
it. Happened so one came along.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And so 50 years, you're making it in Folkston. When did you hear about the farm at Okefenokee? When did you first hear about that?
The first I heard about this place, the farm, was when Dan called me. Dan called me when we had the first session.
Okay.
I didn't know this place was out here. And Dan called me and said, "Hey, you're a good friend of mine. We've been buddies a while." He said, "I want you to ride with me somewhere. And I just want you to listen and look a little bit." And he took me around the place down there. I was wondering what he was talking about. And when I got to the place, really, I was surprised to see it built up like that.
Right.
And I said, "This is the old Joe Hope's track here." He said, "I don't know about that, but I got 2 buddies out here, and they doing some projects out here, and you might be interested in it." He said, "I'm gonna try to get you to talk to him." And he called the other guy. What his name? Jeff Miles, I think.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit, and he invited me over.
So for folks who are listening, they don't know who Dan is. I've worked with Dan now for a number of years, and he's an absolute sweetheart. And he and I share a passion for reading books and stuff. So we've traded more books at this point than I can count. But tell people a little bit about Dan and how maybe you met him, just so there's some context there.
Well, I met Dan when we were working the Hercules.
Okay.
Dan was hired on as a mechanic.
Yep.
I already had maybe a year and a half, 2 years when he came. He came out in the field to work on a tractor. And just that voice he had, that snap like voice talk, it kind of hit me there, and I started laughing. I started laughing, and he had that little snap talk there. He said, "What you laughing at, man?" I said, you got me the way you talk. And he started laughing. He said,
he's a big guy.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy. And he said, well, your voice kind of interests me too. And we start just start talking with one another.
Yeah.
And we became one or two of the best friends in Folkston. He had a we built old dune buggy. He used to come to the house and pick me up. He had a keg of beer on the back. You know, we hit the streets, start drinking beer. Almost got
statute of limitations.
Almost got me in a divorce. But it worked out. And he got rid of the dune buggy. And then he got married. And he had a bad marriage. And I don't think he married since.
No, he's not.
No, he hadn't married since. But we always stayed in touch. Always from then on. And that was probably back in 73, 74, somewhere back in there. We always been.
So talk to me. One of the things, and I can't remember if I've talked about it on this series that we're doing here, but I share this a lot because it's so meaningful to me. When I came to Folkston, it's been almost 5 years ago now, one of the first things that I noticed when I was downtown Folkston, and then I started working with a lot of the people around here, was how deep the relationships are and how there doesn't seem to be, and I know this probably this isn't wholesale everywhere, but it doesn't seem to be that people care if you make a lot of money or little money, if you're black or if you're white or anything else. I see relationships that are colorblind and money blind.
And
is
it always been that way.
Yeah, I thought I see it.
It always been that way.
Dan's a white guy, and you think people who are listening to this who aren't from our area, they think maybe the deep South, and they're thinking there's no way that a white guy and a black guy could be best friends.
Oh yes,
but Folkston's different, right?
It's different. Even with the cops, I know about all the cops. We talk.
Yeah.
I used to go to the games all the time. I never had no problem with nobody.
But it is different here.
It's different.
It's different. And I don't know why that is. I can't put my finger on it because it wasn't like that where I grew up in Jacksonville. But it is truly a special place when it comes to integrating into the fabric of this community because people don't care.
They don't care
who you are, or they care about the quality of their personhood. Like they care about your integrity, but they don't care what color you are, if you make a lot of money, where you work, or whatever else. It's like everybody's on the playing field.
Yeah. And it always been that way. But now what really kind of separated the people here in Folkston, you got some separation.
Yeah.
Even with myself.
Okay.
Drugs.
Oh, okay. When did that happen?
Well, drugs really got out of hand probably in the 70s. In the 70s. I'd say the early 70s.
Okay.
So
that point, a lot of the marijuana and a lot of other stuff that flowed in out of that was
it started with marijuana and the cops used to arrest them and whatever. When they got where they just wouldn't arrest them, then they went further to this and that. Where the people, even myself, the ones you see doing this, you try to stay away from them.
Gotcha.
You try to stay away from them.
Yeah.
And you try to teach your kids to just stay away from that.
Yeah.
And that's about the only separation we have around here.
I love it. It's so, I mean, again, I feel like I probably have spoken about it too much, but it's just one of the most beautiful things about Folkston that it's been a joy for me to get to be a part of, because I've made so many friends, and it's so easy to make friends here.
Sure it is. Yeah. Long as you're not big, bad, bold, and whatever. Yeah. But you know what really burns me? And it's probably 50-50 out there.
Okay.
When I used to get up 4 o'clock, 3:30 every morning, getting ready, getting prepared for my day. and you go into a corner store or something, pick you a soda, honey bun or something up. And here in the South, everybody you meet, you're going to greet them.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Right.
How you doing?
Yeah, hold the door.
Hold the door.
Absolutely, yeah.
You walk out the door, walk in the door, and you meet one. Good morning. I'm not a morning person. Now, how much energy it took for them to say that than to just say good morning. It used to burn me up. But I never forget the face. If I meet them again to the door, I back up and let them in, and I go on out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It used to burn me when you greet somebody, and I'm not a morning person. How many people laid down last night and didn't get up this morning? But you're not a morning person.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it really used to burn me.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, we only met just for the first time the other night, and you were showing me some arrowheads that you so graciously loaned the farm to put in the display case.
Oh, they're yours.
Okay, well, even more, you gave the farm. I mean, very, very, very gracious. And you started telling me a little bit about them, but I would love to hear like how you got interested in even finding them.
Well, I was working with this guy. We close friends too. Michael Knowles. And he used to pick them up. He picked them up so easy, like like a magnet. If one is around in 40 feet, he's gonna pick it up. And he was just picking them. He just pick them, get off his machine. He'd walk into the pickup, get a drink of water, something. Just pick it up. I said, "How you find them things like that?" He said, "I don't know. It was just laying there. You didn't see it?" I said, "No, I didn't see it." So now I'm getting interested in finding me one or two.
And this is when y'all were hunting stumps in the woods.
No, I was on a different job now.
Okay.
Hercules had went out of business.
Okay.
And I was working in logging.
Okay, got it.
We was in the logging.
Got it. Okay.
And he'd pick them up so easy. So that got me to wanting to find one or two. All I could find were broke pieces of material. I could never find one. Took me about 2 years to pick one up. After I picked that one up, they was almost just easy to see.
You just, something happened. It clicked.
It clicks. But now Michael knows, I call him Daniel Boone. Only thing interests him, fishing, outside of his family.
Yeah.
Fishing, hunting. That was it. He don't care nothing about going nowhere. Unless he got a fishing pole, a rifle going on.
Yeah.
His wife, she do most of everything else. Because he's
always out and about.
That's him. And that's Michael Knowles. And he's not shy, but if he didn't really know you, he wasn't going.
Yeah. He just
shy,
a little quiet.
Shy. He'll shy off.
Yeah.
If you and him talking,
like you, right?
Yeah.
I'm teasing.
I don't meet strangers now. I don't meet no. But he's a good guy, but he kind of, you got to know him.
Yeah.
To know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And he used to tell me that's a coyote track right there. I'm looking at the track. Next time he looked, I said, "That's a coyote track." And no, that's a fox track. He could tell a mockingbird track from a bluebird track. So I start calling him Daniel Boone.
I love it.
But if you could get him to talk to you, he could. But he's not. He real shy off. But
yeah,
he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was the one that piqued your interest in
finding. He the one got me started looking for him.
Yeah. And then once you started, I mean, you said you got the knack for it pretty quickly. But when we were talking the other night, I mean, you pretty much real quickly started going on and on about where they came. Like
Yeah.
you didn't
But
just
his
it wasn't enough to pick them up.
But his different material. Some was made from that round here.
Okay.
They was made from the. I guess they got it out the river.
Okay.
River rocks. Then you had sand rocks, and whatever they could find, glass rocks. They call it glass rock, but most of them were made around here. The flint, that was they really liked it because it was easy to work with, and the way I was told the way they handle it was with a deer antler.
Huh.
You wouldn't think a deer antler could pick that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way they nap it.
They napped it with a deer antler. Yeah.
Interesting.
And even at that, they always say Indian was lazy, but no, they wasn't. They had their chores and they had their duties. All these cypress ponds you see around. Most of them was dug with the Indians where they build a camping ground up.
Right.
With,
out of the floodplain.
Out of the floodplain. Yeah. And down there, and when they got to the water, that was for their horses. They made, and the cypress trees and stuff just took it over and grew up in it.
Huh.
The cypress palms and stuff, most of them is handmade from the Indian. They dug that. I need to cut this.
That's okay. We got it. Hey, this is real time, baby. We're not professional podcasters here. We're just a bunch of old crazy guys talking. So
yeah. So they had their chores and they toted the dirt, carried the dirt out in skin bags and whatever they could carry it out with. And they carried it up top and they dumped it and they made the mounds for the camp. Left the bottom down there for the horses, for the water.
And so when you were growing up in Folkston, I mean, those listening already probably know, I mean, the name Farm at Okefenokee comes from the fact that we're on the banks of the Okefenokee Refuge. When you were growing up in this area, I mean, your playground was the swamp. I mean, it was a part of what you did. And so did you learn about a lot? Was it only later in life that you started learning about what the Indians were doing?
Later in life.
What were you thinking as a man, like in this area? Did y'all learn about like the swampers and the folk who lived on Billy's Island and all that kind of stuff? Or was that just out of sight, out of mind for you?
Out of sight, out of mind, because what it was, at that time, people were living where they lived.
Okay.
We lived where we lived. We knew they were there, but it didn't interest us because that was there.
Gotcha.
It didn't interest us. We heard about Billy Island and the different people live in the swamp.
Yeah.
And this and that. But mainly it didn't concern us because we was kind of isolated too because we didn't have no street lights. We didn't get no electric lights until I was about 6 years old.
And are you east of US 1? Did you grow up east of US 1?
East.
That's what it sounded like when you were talking about where the projects are and stuff. I was that much.
I'm right down from the project.
Okay, yeah. I know roughly the area.
And anyway, you go out at night and you see lightning bugs flashing. We call them lightning bugs. I don't know what the name is.
That's what we call them too, yeah.
And you can look up and you see millions of stars.
Yeah.
You look down the road and you don't see nothing. You could reach out there and get darkness by the handful and just pull it to you and pull it up here and you still can't see your fingers. It wasn't a street light. The street lights we had were short, were down low. It was four lights on a pole. And the cops used to go around every evening and turn them on. They was in town.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the cops used to go around and turn the street lights on. That was the only street lights you had. Well, your daddy had a flashlight, but you couldn't just get it to go outside or nothing. And it just was just so dark. If you had to go anywhere in the dark, the only way you know you were going down the road when you hit bushes on this side, you come back. You hit bushes over here, you it was just dark. But now you go anywhere and just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just lit up.
Yeah.
But it was, and like I say, they was in their little thing in the swamp. We was over here, and it didn't concern us. We hear people talking about the people in the swamp and this and that, but it didn't concern you.
How about that?
Yeah, it didn't concern you.
I didn't realize that. And because we're only talking about 10 or 12 miles difference in area, like literally distance from where you would have been to the Chester Island Swampers,
Yeah, you had a bunch of people living there. Hecox, a lot of people lived in the swamp. Yeah. And when the government come in and condemned it, then they had to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of got a little sidetracked, which was a fun little route. But I was asking you kind of just about how you started learning about the Indians, and then we got talking about the swamp, because in my mind, a lot of the stuff that I've read is the Indians were some of the first ones to inhabit the swamp. Do you think that, are they a lot of the same ones that were leaving behind these arrowheads that you were finding? Is it
probably so? Because
travel hunting and stuff.
Yeah, and fighting. The different some of them fought against themselves more than they fought against the soldiers,
right?
The military. But a lot of them tribes, they fought against themselves. But the most thing they was concerned about, you don't cross the swamp into our territory. You stay on your swamp side of the swamp. And they fought for that territory.
Yeah.
Now, you like up there in Taylor, Florida, up there, it was a big tribe up over there. I forget the name of them, but it'll come to me directly. But the military went and pulled them out.
Oh, I didn't know that. My grandma's from Taylor, Florida.
Yeah. Well, you were right.
It's a small area around here for sure.
She right there in it. Right there.
So is we're sitting on the banks these days, and one of the things that people that are here at the farm at Okefenokee, I mean, we now spend a lot of time in the swamp. We go, whether it's hiking through the trails or exploring the swamp in boats and stuff like that. I mean, it's such a kind of an integral part of what we're doing. Do you ever make it now that you're out and about, or do you ever get in the swamp these days at all, or is it still just kind of outside of your...
I used to take my kids. I used to take them. But the last one I had, she was out here with me to bait my baby.
I remember I met her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She wanted to go to the swamp. She been to this one down here.
Right.
But you got 2 more.
Yep.
3 more.
Oh, 3. Okay.
Yeah. You got Fargo.
Right.
Then you got the one up there in Ware County. Waycross. You got 2 in Ware County.
Okay.
You leave that one and go around and come by the train where the train yard. And you come around, and they got a zoo around back on the back side, on the other side of the zoo.
That one's not near Race Pond, is it?
No.
Because there is a entrance kind of close to Race Pond, I think, to that.
No.
Yeah.
This is you leaving Waycross, but when you know the rail yard.
Yeah.
Well, you turn right there on Quarter Z. You turn on Quarter Z right before you get to the rail yard.
Okay,
and you go right on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a zoo right down there.
I had no idea.
Yes.
How about that?
And when we having a family reunion that lasted this month, and I have 3 daughters, and none of them been in the swamp. And I'm gonna take them to all places of the swamp.
So, one of the reasons why we do this this podcast that we're doing is there's a lot of people all over the country, and in some cases different parts of the world, that are interested in what we do here at the farm at Okefenokee. And a lot of those people have, there's one of them right there calling us, right? You answering for us? A lot of those people are, they can't necessarily come here immediately, and so they're looking at our website, they're playing on their phones like you are, and looking at the social media, but they're kind of hungry to understand what it is that we do here. And so I thought it would be fun maybe just to ask you. I know that you don't spend a lot of time necessarily on the farm at Okefenokee, although you're welcome and you have spent some. But for somebody who's up in, Chicago or Minneapolis or even in a different country, what would you tell them about what it's like to be here in this area? I know we talked a little bit about the relational side, but just for folks that's never been here before, paint a picture for them what it's like to be down here.
You're going to be in for a surprise if you're out in the city, because you're going to see, it's no telling what you're going to see.
Okay.
You're liable to see a bear.
Yeah.
Fox. Maybe a coyote. And this is something you don't see anywhere.
Yeah.
If you go to the swamp, you're going to see gators, otters, turtles, and here's some grown turtles in that water.
Like them snappers, the alligator
I'm
snappers.
I'm telling you, people don't believe it. I wouldn't even try to tell you the size of this thing.
Like the big
No.
I had never seen. That's about the biggest one I've ever seen.
I got one on my reel, and I didn't know what in the world it were. And I could feel the vibration like, and what the devil is this? I done got hooked on a gator down there. And it started easing to me. I was on the bank, easing to me. And when that thing got up there, his head was about this big.
And they're mean looking.
Wow. And I said, oh my God, how is I'm going to get loose from this thing? I never seen his body, only his head. His head was this big.
Holy cow. For those listening, we're talking about 18 inches round.
The head, he was humongous. And I just pull, and the hook straightened up, and he went back down. I went and put a hook on the line and went back, and it must have made him mad. He was halfway up on the bank and stuck his head up, and he made one of the turbulent vibrations I ever heard from anything like that. He just,
Wow.
And then it just slid back down in the water.
How about that?
I never seen nothing like that.
Wow.
And that was right there in the swamp.
So folks are having store for them to see all kinds of creatures they've never seen before. What else could they expect around here?
They're going to be treated nice.
Yeah.
They'll be treated nice and courtesy. And I think they'll be happy.
Yeah.
I think they'll be satisfied with what they find and see.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always something new, always something. Because I be out here a lot, not a lot, but every time I come in and go out, I see something different.
Yeah.
I see something different, or something act different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, we usually end our podcast with something called a one-word close, and I know this is brand new to you. And the way we do it is we think for a moment. If we had to use one word that just kind of captures the spirit of the way that we're feeling after this conversation, or maybe to describe the things we've talked about, if you had to package that in one word, what would that word be? And what would that word be for you, Jobe?
Love.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I was going to say friendship.
Yeah.
And
same thing.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. Awesome.